Okay.
Hey, Colleen.
Hi, Governor.
Thanks for doing it.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Tom,
Thank you for being here.
how was your trip? Oh, yeah. How do you do?
Yeah, he's doing great.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You ready?
Yep.
Ready. Good morning. Good morning. I am Colleen Marr. I am the mayor in the borough of Fanwood. Mayor Shelley Brindle couldn't be with us this morning, so I am pleased to welcome you to Westfield on her behalf. I have the privilege to serve as the co-chair of the Raritan Valley Line Mayors Alliance with Mayor Brindle, along with Robert Faison, the mayor of Bound Brook in Somerset County. And many of those mayors are standing to my left that have been involved. Today we have significant amount of representation of leaders all across the 4 counties that represent the 23,000 commuters that are affected by the Raritan Valley Line. In no particular order, South Bound Brook Mayor Chris Schaffner, Bound Brook Mayor Bob Faison, Clinton Mayor Janice Kovach, Senate Minority Leader Tom Kane Jr., Union County Freeholder Betty Jane Kowalski, Assembly Minority Leader John Bramnick, Denellen Council President Jason Salento, Manville Mayor Rich Underko, Assemblywoman Linda Carter, Plainfield Mayor Adrian Mapp, Cranford Mayor Patrick Giblin, Union County Freeholder Kimberly Palmieri Muded, Union County Freeholder Alex Mirabella, Roselle Park Mayor Joe Signorella, Assemblywoman Nancy Munez, Senator Joseph Cryan, Assemblyman Roy Friedman, Westfield Councilman Mark LaGrippa, Westfield Councilwoman Joanne Nealon, Somerset County Freeholder Sarah Soy, and former Somerset County Freeholder Peter Palmer. If I have missed anyone, I apologize. The mayors are part of a bipartisan alliance of 32 mayors representing towns along the line in Union, Somerset, Hunterdon, and Middlesex County. And we are committed to obtaining 1-seat direct train service for our constituents. Personally, I've been advocating for this since 2011. Today, more than 23,000 residents take the Raritan Valley Line trains every day. They face a commute that includes changing trains and platforms in Newark and adding well over a half an hour to their commute, all because our line does not have any midtown direct service, despite having equal or greater to ridership with lines with that direct service. I would be remiss if I did not thank the hundreds of commuters that we have met along the way, at our rallies, at their platforms, for the emails, and for the phone calls. What the Raritan Valley Line does have are many advocates, and they are standing up here today, who've been working for years of sharing the goal of equitable service for our commuters. Today, the Raritan Valley Rail Coalition is represented by Union County Freeholder Betty Jane Kowalski, former Somerset Freeholder Peter Palmer, Somerset County, and its chair, Bruce Bergen. For more than 2 years, the mayors have met with representatives from all levels of government to present the case for 1-seat ride on the Raritan Valley Line, and we are so grateful that many of them are here today. The Raritan Valley Line has the highest ridership, the 3rd highest ridership of the system, except for the Northeast Corridor, with more riders expected as transit-oriented development continues along the line from Union Township to Highbridge. There will be more than 10,000 residential units built, and this is being developed around transit stations because transit-oriented development and smart growth is a hallmark in New Jersey. 10 of the line's 18 stations ranks in the top half of all average weekday boardings. And this does not include the hundreds of commuters who go elsewhere to seek the direct train lines. As mayors, we hear every day from our constituents about how the service affects their lives. They miss the school events, the sports activities, the family time. Each of us have met families who are considering moving to another town with direct train service. The lack of direct service is a serious and valid commuter issue and impacts the appeal of our towns. As mayors, we are seriously concerned about the economic impact to our home values and the ability to attract businesses. But we're here today because of the ongoing collaboration from the governor's office, congressional and state legislators, mayors, and county officials, all working together for the very one important constituent that we all share, which is the commuter. But we cannot wait for while we support the Gateway Tunnel and the improvements, we don't think we should wait for those long-term projects. We work together, we are here together to find a solution to secure improvements along the line, which includes peak one-seat service in the near future. I am very pleased to stand here today on behalf of the mayors and all the commuters to welcome the governor, to welcome our congressman, to welcome the DOT commissioner. This governor has listened to our concerns. He understands the importance of New Jersey transit to our commuters. He's serious about investing completely in the system after years of neglect, and he has made a point to be here today. So please join me in welcoming the governor of the great state of New Jersey, Bill Murphy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, everyone. A very good way to start the week here in Westfield. So thank you, Mayor Colleen Marr, not only for all you do in Fanwood, but in your partnership as a co-chair of the Raritan Valley Line Mayor's Alliance. We're also joined by our terrific Congressman, Tom Malinowski, the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, as well as NJ Transit Board Chair. By the way, homage, proper homage. As well as NJ Transit Board Chair and Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Diane Gutierrez-Scicchetti. Kevin Corbett is doing what he should be doing, meeting with the feds right now, so he sends his best in absentia. Colleen also mentioned that Westfield's Mayor Shelley Brindle couldn't be here today. We give her a shout out in absentia to all of the elected officials, legislators, mayors, freeholder. I said to these guys, I meant freeholder, but if you say mayor here, 25 people turn around, you say freeholder, a half a dozen, assemblyman, senator, et cetera. So to each and every one of you, thank you for coming out today and thanks for having us. Looking at this group and where we are, you could probably get a sense of why we're here, and Colleen has already done a very good job of laying it out. So let's start the week with some good and long-awaited news. One-seat off-peak rides into New York Penn Station along the Raritan Valley Line will resume on Monday, November 4. Complete fishing for applause on my part there, so just glad to see it worked. This restoration will cover all 5 midday daily round trips and 3 of the 4 scheduled evening round trip trains. And that last train, which is the last nightly train to New York, will be rescheduled to cut the wait time for the connecting ride at Newark Penn from 24 minutes to 8 minutes. And that's something, by the way, with more predictability and more frequency, we'd like to do in the peak side of life as well. But that's going to be a reality as of November 4th, off-peak. Quite simply, this service restoration means the elimination of major headaches, and I don't have to tell you this, for thousands of train riders. It means that the staffing and equipment required for reliable and sustainable service have been secured. It means more time actually getting to where you need to go and less time waiting. I want to thank Congressman Tom Malinowski, who has been, I would say, somewhere between a cheerleader and in our face, as he should be, as well as the mayors all throughout the Raritan Valley Line and the other legislative leadership, the freeholders, not just in this county but across the 4 that are impacted, for their work and partnership getting to today. The congressman in particular was an instrumental voice throughout this process, and I also thank him for his continued advocacy for the federal investments that we need to get the Portal Bridge project green-lighted, as well as other long overdue transit improvements. I also want to acknowledge there are a lot of legislators here who did a lot of really good work on this. Roy and Linda are here, and there are two of them in particular I wanted to give a shout out to, so thank you. Ever since our administration took office, we've been working hard to put things right for all of NJ Transit's commuters after their lost decade. For 8 years, they saw service decline. They bore the brunt of, at one point, a 90% cut in state support, the decimation of the ranks of engineers, and they had to cope with the failure of the previous administration to ensure implementation of positive train control to ensure their safety. And they did this while having fare hike after fare hike thrust into their shoulders. Make no mistake, making up for this lost decade will not happen overnight. It will take step-by-step improvements. It will take continued commitment from our administration to get NJ Transit back on a strong financial footing so future investments can be secured and commutes can continually be improved. On Wednesday, for example, I will join Diane and the aforementioned Kevin Corbett and many others on the NJ Transit team to graduate a class of new engineer trainees and watch them move. I feel like there's an applause sign above us here somewhere. And watch them move on to the final, but it isn't always this way, trust me. And watch them move on to the final stage of their training to receive their certification to operate on the rails. Today's announcement is a long time coming, too long, frankly, and I fully understand the inconvenience that commuters have faced since these rides were suspended last September. Starting here and today, we're taking a major step to getting things right along the RVL and putting commuters first again. As more engineer training classes graduate, as new accountability standards and internal reforms at NJ Transit continue to take hold, and as long-awaited investments in new passenger cars and station improvements start to come online, riders here on the Raritan Valley Line and across the entire rail system will see real improvements in their commutes. This is the commitment we've made. It's a commitment we will keep. And I should say, in addition to all of the VIPs, dignitaries, elected officials here today, we could not do this at NJ Transit or across the entirety of our government without great support and leadership from our brothers and sisters in organized labor. So Ray, to you and your colleagues, God bless you and thank you for everything you all do. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce a strong voice for our residents, not just here in Westfield, but across central Jersey and in Washington. Please help me welcome Congressman Tom Malinowski.
Thank you, everybody. I am so happy that we are here today to make this announcement. I'm so grateful to you, Governor, for being here with us. Look at the people standing here. We're in Westfield. We have elected officials. We have community leaders from as far away as Hunterdon County. We have the mayor of Clinton, New Jersey. This line serves so many people, so many communities, so many families. It is so critical to our growing economy, so critical to our hopes for a growing economy in this part of New Jersey. And what the commuters go through every single day is just unacceptable, having to change, and not just to change trains in Newark, but go downstairs, upstairs, the anxiety, the hassle, the pain of that in the middle of what is already a difficult commute is really, really unfortunate. I want to tell you a little bit about a piece of history because I think it gives us a sense of perspective on how important this is. 111 years ago, you could get on a train, a steam train, not too far from this spot, at 7:35 in the morning. It would shoot you to the docks at Jersey City, where right there you get off that train, get right on a ferry, and be in New York City at 8:25. A 50-minute ride in 1909. And actually it was more convenient because the ferry's right there next to the train when you get off. That's where we were in 1909. The next year, because that was not good enough for the people of New Jersey in 1909, we built the Hudson River Tunnel, which was a marvel of engineering at that point. And now, with millions more people, tens of thousands more commuters, we're in a situation where we cannot sustain our economy and the demand for transit to New York with the infrastructure that we have. And that is why we're here today, because we haven't built a new tunnel and we have to keep on reallocating the resources, and it's never good enough for any of the lines that New Jersey Transit operates. That's why we're here. And we're here because of that lost decade. We're here because of the disastrously irresponsible decision by the previous administration to cancel the former tunnel project, the ARC Tunnel project, which would have been built by now if it had not been canceled, which would have dealt with, among other things, the one-seat ride problem. And that is why I am doing everything I possibly can, as the governor mentioned, to get that federal money and that federal commitment for that massive infrastructure project. And we are making progress on the Portal Bridge despite tremendous resistance from the Trump administration, and I believe we'll make progress on the tunnel as well. But meanwhile, we've got to do something for the commuters who are suffering now, who are struggling today. And that's why I'm so grateful to the governor for working with my office, for working with the Raritan Valley Line Mayor's Alliance and the Raritan Valley Rail Coalition to restore the off-peak service that was taken away before, and to work on some of those issues regarding making the transfer process easier at the Newark station. Every little bit counts. So this is a significant step forward for all of us. And the first step to the most important measure that we need, which is to adding peak service for the 23,000 commuters who use the Raritan Valley Line every single week. This is just a step forward. I am not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop being in your face, Governor, and a cheerleader until, thank you, until those morning and evening rush hour commuters get the benefit of this service as well. And it is only fair because, frankly, we have more riders than a lot of other New Jersey Transit lines that have many trains going directly to New York today. So this is where we are. Eventually, we're going to have the Gateway project, which is going to solve all of these problems. But let's take some steps now. Let's get some light ahead of the tunnel. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Commissioner Scassetti to come up with some final words. Thank you.
Good morning. So as chair of New Jersey Transit, the first thing that I would like to offer is our appreciation and our thanks for the patience that our RVL commuters have had during the time that we have had to make changes to their schedules. Those were not easy decisions to make, although they were the right decisions given the status of positive train control. And as you know with that, our job is not done. We have much to do to finish our PTC implementation by December of 2020. But being able to work through those issues on the RVL line and then in conjunction with Amtrak to get their summer work done, we are happy to be here today to restore the service that you had on your off-peak trips. As I said, the job of PTC is not done. It is very important for us to not only deliver reliable trips, but safe trips. They go hand in hand. And we will continue to work very hard to make certain that we improve service with every task that we complete. We have heard so much from your RVL Rail Coalition team, mostly headed by Bruce Bergen at our board meetings, I think on a monthly basis. He's been a staunch advocate for all that you ask for from New Jersey Transit. And we will continue to make both more reliable and predictable the ability for you to have single platform transfers in the peak hour. That's a very difficult task, but it's not insurmountable. And so with our partners at Amtrak, we will continue the conversations that hopefully get us there sooner rather than later to make all of your commuters' trips both comfortable, reliable, and get you home in time for all those important events that you have and get you to work on time for all that important work that you do. Again, we appreciate all of your patience. New Jersey Transit is committed to returning to the state it was 20 years ago. I don't know if I can get back 111 years, Congressman, but we're going to do our very best to give you the very best service that you deserve. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both, Tom, who's allowed me to trademark the light before the tunnel, ahead of the tunnel, and Diane for your comments. I just have to say this. This is not just a group of elected officials, it's a bipartisan group of elected officials, and that means a lot. It goes to tell you that commuting is not partisan, right? So getting this right is in all of our interests. I also mentioned our brothers and sisters in organized labor. How could I forget the newlywed Barry Kushner is with us as well. So Barry, great to have you. We're going to take, in the interest of the days and the livelihoods of the 30 or so folks up here, we're going to take on-topic questions only here, and then I will be very happy if there are any off-topic questions, which I'm sure there aren't, to take in a gaggle afterwards. Daniel. Come on, Diane.
I don't know that I would say that there's a cost. It was service we were providing. So we're just filling vacancies with engineers. So I really can't say that there's an incremental increase in cost. I think the fair thing to say is it's just the restoration of service, right? So we're not adding, we're filling engineer slots to run the whole system. That's going to help us restore this service, number one. And we finished installing most of the PTC equipment, which allows us to just put the service back. So this is not if you're asking if there's a huge budget hit, no, there's not.
Thank you for that. I mentioned that we're going to attend an engineering class graduation on Wednesday. And it's important to note, the ARC tunnel was mentioned by Tom. That we're still digging out from that decision, which was many years ago. And we wouldn't be here today in many respects if that had not gone the way it went. Another history we're digging out of, whether we like it or not, is we had a bunch of years where there were either 0, 1, or furloughed engineer classes. And that's been one of our biggest challenges. And so I'm happy to say this graduation on Wednesday is one of 6 engineering classes we currently have. 1 class has already graduated. This is number 2, and the other 4 are taking their course. And these are not, one month take it at home online courses. These are 20-month intense training, as you would hope, to make sure that we run not just a reliable system, but a safe system. And so that's sort of some of the legacy that we're making up for lost time on. Sir. The answer to the first question is yes. Not easily, however, not easily. And that requires, this is moving a whole bunch of chess pieces around, and I'm saying this as the non-expert up here. The answer is yes, but it is not easy. The second thing, hold on. The second thing, but don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. But that's something obviously that's important. The other thing is this, and I know this, I don't take it every day like so many people take it, but I'm on NJ Transit once or twice a week, so I see it with my own eyes and I hear the stories, and people are not bashful about coming up and talking to me about the service and where it can be better. The other point that I think you heard us say in the off-peak, in the couple of trains, that last one to New York at night, we are now volitionally, I say we, NJ Transit, is going to, with certainty, give you a transfer, same platform, which cuts your commute time from about 24 minutes to 8 minutes. That's off-peak. Our hope would be, even in the absence of a definitive answer to the first question you asked about peak one-seat rides, we would hope that we would be able to accomplish more of that predictably on the peak trains. But again, bear with us. As it relates to development, absolutely. I mean, we have to go to where the people are, period. And that includes not just the rail service and intensity, but also the bus services as well. Please.
Here's the simple answer. No.
Please expand. Are you with the press, sir? Okay, hold on one sec, please.
When
Any idea?
Yes. So we have about 7 engineers graduating on Wednesday, and it'll probably take somewhere between 30 and 60 days for them to finish their field testing in order to be able to run trains. Is that fair, Ray?
I had you, sir, and then ma'am. Please. How many riders, sorry?
Riders.
I don't have the.
I don't know that I know the answer. I'll come back to you with that, though. Thank you. Please. I think you got a combination of engineers and putting rolling stock back into service that was taken out to get retrofitted from positive train control. If folks were frustrated that it took too long for it to happen, I join them in that frustration. But the good news is we're getting there. Do you have any thoughts yet?
Just Amtrak summer work, too.
And Amtrak summer work, I forgot. Amtrak summer work is another cross that we collectively bear. We're going to stay with the press, please. I gave you a one-word answer last week. I promise you it'll be more than one word. Yep. Right. So to the best of my knowledge, unless corrected otherwise, I'll take the first half, and Diane, you can take the second. I believe the overwhelming majority of the trains that were canceled today were due to engineer shortages. There's a couple of equipment pieces, challenges, but they were largely engineering shortages. I've said that for quite some time that next summer is going to look a lot different than this summer. But I don't know if you want to put any more color on that, Diane, as the chair.
I would just say that it looks, from our perspective, we've said all along by spring of next year, we thought that was when we kind of struck a balance on the engineered staffing. I don't think we've come off of that. We continue to run classes. We've run more classes in the last 20 months than probably in the last 10 years. So at the end of the day, the numbers are building. But for us to get to a place where we feel comfortable that we can cover all of these call-outs on all of the lines and live within our union obligations, I think that you're seeing spring of next year is really the target.
I'm going to, sir, Nikita, and then we're going to shut it down. Sir, I'll come to you privately afterwards, please. So I appreciate your asking that. Certainly not in Kentucky.
I could take that.
I think I'd like Tom to answer that, but I will say this, that we have had, or any of the mayors or freeholders or elected officials from both sides of the aisle, I would just say this, the 2 words I've used on Gateway are frustrated, 3 words, but cautiously optimistic. I continue to be that way. That is an accurate description. I do feel of late we've had more productive, and I want to say this, meetings, and we've had more productive progress thanks largely to the efforts of Tom and his colleagues, particularly on the Portal Bridge piece. And I want to say that for the record. I'd ask Tom to come in and put any more color on that.
Yeah, I don't think it depends on the Secretary of Transportation, and that's the difference that we have made. I think the mistake that we were making in the last couple of years is we kept on sending people to the White House and to the Department of Transportation saying, oh, please, we have this really important project in New Jersey, please help us. And we stopped doing that. We're just doing it. We have a majority in the House of Representatives that we write the budget. We can put the money in the budget. We passed legislation on one of the appropriations bills this year that says if they don't get the money out for projects like Portal, then the Secretary of Transportation can't hire any more political appointees, right? So we're using our power to get this done, and and I would you mentioned Kentucky, Governor, the biggest federally funded transportation project in the country is the Gateway project. The second biggest planned federally funded transportation project happens to be a bridge in Kentucky. And I very much look forward, when we have funded our project, going to the senior senator from Kentucky, if he is still there, and saying, we love your bridge. We really want to help you out. We need a favor, though, as the president likes to say.
Okay. On that grace note, I want to thank everybody. Mayors, freeholders, assembly members, senators, labor, advocates. Colleen, thank you for hosting us in Shelley's absence as co-chair. To each and every one of you, thank you so much for coming out. For the press, I think I'm stepping over here for a few minutes, and sir, I will speak to you privately. Thank you all.